What's new for 2024? The Frontier gets a luxury SL trim for 2024, which comes standard with leather upholstery, a 10-speaker Fender stereo system, and fancier LED lighting elements. We're particularly enthusiastic about the 1980s-inspired hardbody edition model, which borrows styling elements including wheels, body decals, and a bed-mounted sport bar from the Nissan hardbody pickup truck that paved the way for the modern Frontier. The 2024 Nissan Frontier has certainly seen a lot of advancements in its interior design, and the Frontier benefits from a lot of those advances. A large, easy-to-read infotainment touchscreen dominates the interior and still leaves more than enough space for the climate controls and various other buttons. However, some of the buttons are not laid out logically and are sometimes difficult to find. Clunky instrument panel menus and steering wheel-mounted controls could also benefit from a rethink. Surprisingly, the Frontier doesn't offer a telescopic steering wheel, making it difficult for some drivers to find a comfortable seating position. Rear passengers won't be too happy either, as the Frontier's rear legroom is decidedly tight for adults. Outward visibility is on par with its class. There's an optional surround view camera system for the Frontier. This can help make parking easier, but the camera display is low-res and grainy. Luckily, the Frontier features an interior design and materials that seem like vast improvements over the outdated, plastic-laden cabin that plagued its predecessor. Not only has Nissan added cooler trim pieces and much-needed soft-touch surfaces, but the company has also introduced more contemporary features. The gauge cluster now offsets its analog gauges with a larger 7.0-inch color display. A heated steering wheel and heated front seats are also available. Speaking of seats, the Frontier continues to provide comfort to our backsides with Nissan's flexible zero-gravity throne. Interior cubby storage includes a bin above the dash and a stowage bin under the rear seat. The truck offers two wheelbases that provide short and long cargo beds, with the former measuring less than 5 feet and the latter just over 6 feet long. The new Frontier's infotainment system operates through a standard 8.0-inch or optional 9.0-inch touchscreen. A pair of physical knobs for adjusting the stereo's volume and tuning settings are present and located below the screen. The most desirable standard connectivity features include Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and several charging outlets, including a USB-C port. The Frontier can also be had with a subscription-based Wi-Fi hotspot and wireless smartphone charging. The sound system can also be upgraded to a 9-speaker Fender unit for an additional cost. The Frontier has a standard 8-inch touchscreen or an optional 9-inch touchscreen. Those are good sizes, and the displays are bright. Unfortunately, Nissan's native menu interface is amateurish, oftentimes looking like an old website design instead of a modern interface. The workaround is to just use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay smartphone integration, and both look good on the touchscreen. Wireless smartphone charging is an option, as is the 10-speaker Fender audio system. The Fender system makes a decent sound, but its subwoofer takes up some valuable rear under-seat storage. Standard on all Frontiers is driver assist such as driver attention warning, automatic emergency braking, and trailer sway control. Our test truck came with a few packages that added a lane departure warning, blind spot warning with the rear cross-traffic warning, a surround view camera, and adaptive cruise control. We found the systems to work well and they gave no false alerts. The highlight here is the Frontier's comfortable ride quality. Big dips and bumps are simply shrugged off at high speeds, and the Frontier remains similarly composed around town. Other aspects of the Frontier aren't as polished. The front seat's padding is a bit too firm and flat, and a lack of seat adjustments means you might find it hard to settle into an optimal seating position. The climate control system is relatively straightforward to operate and is able to maintain a comfortable temperature on a hot day, but we were disappointed that our Frontier didn't have air vents for rear passengers. We also noticed an excessive amount of wind noise on the highway. The Frontier's maximum payload stands at 1,620 pounds, and max trailering is 6,640 pounds. These figures are slightly below average for the class, but for real-world use, they're certainly enough to allow you to pull a small or mid-sized trailer without too much difficulty. Optional add-ons include adjustable tie-down cleats, a spray-in bed liner, under-rail lighting, and a 120-volt power outlet. There's ample storage inside the cab thanks to a large tray in front of the shifter, cup holders, and the space where the optional wireless charging tray sits. As a bonus, the underarm center console is large enough to hold a couple of water bottles. The door pockets for front and rear passengers are about average size. The Frontier inherits Nissan's new naturally aspirated 3.8-liter V6, which made its debut on the last generation 2020 model. The engine generates 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque. It pairs with a 9-speed automatic transmission and rear or four-wheel drive. Our first driving impressions revealed that the Frontier's V6 provides adequate thrust and smooth operation. We drove the off-road-oriented Pro 4X model that's ready and willing to tackle rugged terrain, even if it's not as capable as the Jeep Gladiator. We also appreciated the Nissan's new quicker and more direct steering and the many other chassis enhancements that have helped the truck feel more composed and refined on the go. The EPA estimates that a Frontier with four-wheel drive will get 19 miles per gallon combined in city/highway driving, which is average for a 4WD midsize truck with a V6. We had no problem confirming that number on our real-world evaluation route, where our Frontier test truck returned 19.9 miles per gallon. The Frontier isn't the quickest midsize truck. Our Frontier Pro 4X test truck, this is the off-road-oriented trim, accelerated from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.8 seconds, which is an average time for the class. But the engine really shines in day-to-day driving. There's ample mid-range grunt and the transmission doles out smooth shifts even under full throttle acceleration. The Frontier's brakes are similarly effortless. They're easy to operate in city traffic as well as powerful enough to stop the truck promptly when you need it. Confident handling is another bright spot for the Frontier. The truck feels planted around turns, even with the Pro 4X test truck's all-terrain tires. But the very heavy steering is a head-scratcher. It requires a considerable amount of effort to maneuver the Nissan through a parking lot or over a trail at low speeds. On the upside, the Frontier can take on its fair share of rugged terrain. The 2024 Nissan Frontier is a mid-size truck available in two body styles, an extended cab with two doors, king cab, and a four-door crew cab. The extended cab comes with a 6-foot cargo bed, while the crew cab has either a 5-foot bed or a 6-foot bed. Powering every Frontier is a 3.8-liter V6, 310 horsepower, 281 lb-ft of torque, and a 9-speed automatic transmission. Rear-wheel drive is standard, and four-wheel drive, with low-range gearing, is optional. The Frontier offers an assortment of driver assistance technology as part of the Nissan Safety Shield 360 system. Automated emergency braking with pedestrian detection is standard, but everything else is optional. For more information about the Frontier's crash test results, Visit the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, and Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS, websites. Other key safety features include standard automated emergency braking with pedestrian detection, available lane departure warning, available adaptive cruise control.
9. Received the Motor Week Driver's Choice Best EV Award for 2024. Last year, the 2023 Kia F6 also received the